We were right outside of the city walls, and I said they found the gold outside of the city walls. Why would you in the world find that very important gold which belonged to the royal kings of the city behind the walls? But the gold was buried in dirt on outside of the walls. The suggestion is probably Troy the Second, that city there, was about to be attacked. And the kings knew they're gonna be attacked soon, and the treasures might be plundered. So they had hidden it in the least likely place to be found, rather than inside the walls, outside of the walls. And there you go, maybe they were killed. Otherwise they would come back to claim it and gone, as the treasures were buried for the next 3,000 years under dirt. Isn't that interesting? Would the king ever know that his treasures he's burying outside of this very wall was going to be found by a German excavator after him? So that is the story. Now, look back, those thick walls in the background are finally the walls of Troy the Sixth, the city under siege, the most important city that the Greeks attacked. Those are the walls of the palace of King Priamos of Troy, the famous king of Troy. And that is the king who got involved in the war with the Greek heroes like Achilles and Patroclus and Agamemnon and everybody else. And are you ready for this cute story? I told you the dry reason of this war, which is really the real reason. Economics, trade, right? But there's a romantic story, which is a lovely story. There was a wedding party on the mountain of Olympus, where the Greek gods and goddesses lived. And that was a royal wedding between a god and the goddess. Everybody was invited, but they have forgotten one goddess to be invited, and that is the goddess of jealousy. And goddess of jealousy, pay attention, not god of jealousy. Apparently jealousy is associated with women rather than with men, I must say, unfortunately. And if you forget goddess of jealousy, she's going to take revenge. She prepared a golden bowl. She had written on it, to the most beautiful lady of the cosmos. When they were eating around this banquet table in presence of Zeus and Athena and Aphrodite and everybody, she dropped it right in the middle of the banquet table, and all the goddesses tried to claim it, except and all the goddesses wanted to grab it, but Zeus said, you know, don't look at me. I mean, Zeus grabbed the bowl, and Zeus said, don't look at me, ladies. I'm not going to give this apple to any one of you. I'm not a good judge, but I know who is. Paris of King Priamos of Troy, or the son of King Priamos of Troy. He lives in Mountain Ida. Remember the mountains? Go and find him with the apple. So he's gonna tell you who is the most beautiful lady of the cosmos. Paris was living in the mountains. Why? Because when he was born, the soothsayer said, kill the son. King Priamos, the father, said, how can I? He's my own son. But the soothsayer said, he's going to bring the end of your kingdom if you don't do that. And the king said, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna exile him to the mountains rather than killing my own son. So the son grew in the mountains as a shepherd, shepherding his flocks. And you think, how come a royal son is a shepherd now? Remember, having those sheep then are like having an army of Rolls Royces in your, you know, how do you say, investments, right? They're like, or horses if you like, stuff likewise. But this boy haven't seen any civilization, right? He is in the mountains all by himself, and he's a young man of 18, 19. His hormones are on the peak, I would say. And all of a sudden, 3 goddesses showed up. Aphrodite, goddess of love, Athena, goddess of wisdom, and also Hera, wife of Zeus, and she is the goddess of good marriage life. All of the goddesses said, I promise something to you, Paris. If you give me the apple, I'll give you this. So Hera said, Paris, give me the apple, and in turn, I'll make you the king of Europe, king of Asia. what a man wants. But Paris was least interested. Athena came and said, "Give me the apple, and then I'll give you the most powerful weapons on earth. You will be a mighty hero." Paris, as a young man, least interested, because probably he's kind of glancing through the beautiful body of this half-naked goddess Aphrodite, who is the goddess of love. So Aphrodite comes and says, "Give me the apple. If you do, I'm going to give you the most beautiful lady of the world as a wife." And Paris goes, "Here you go, apple is yours." Poor man. He's not interested in name and fame and being a powerful king or a warrior at this age. You know, his hormones on the peak. He wants a wife. So, who is the most beautiful wife on earth? Helena, who is the wife of King of Greece. Therefore, well, Aphrodite said, "I'm sorry, but there's a problem. But don't you worry, don't go and abduct her." So they abducted Helena. When the ships of the Trojans landed here with Helena, there goes the line from Iliad for Helena, who was beautiful. Her beautiful face launched thousands of ships. In other words, after she was abducted, thousands of ships of the Greeks came here to claim her back. So this is the romantic story of the reason of Trojan War, and this is the house of the royal family lived here. You can see the reconstruction drawing of that palace right here. Don't expect a major palace like in Egypt. This is just a civilization, not a majestic empire like in Egypt or like in the Hittites. Have a look